Alrighty, so here is my description. Code by me, assignment 1, uh, due date. For the description, this program calculates the number of factors to determine how much free time the user likely doesn't have. I trimmed this down so I wouldn't have to worry too much about adding more breaks here. All the inputs I have, username, string, hours worked, float, desired, if I can spell, sleep hours, float, number of credits taken, integer, or spent studying for credit, float. For outputs, weekly free hours, float, daily free time. I was able to get to put float minutes and hours. It's supposed to be integer minutes and integer hours. Message prompt based on daily free hours as a string. And I have this coupled with an if-else statement. Source I just left this is assignment 1 specification. I defined 3 constants. Hours per week, I just calculated that out by hand. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Same with this, 7 days per week. Time units, because it didn't really matter to me when converting the hours and minutes between, seconds and minutes. So I just use that as a flat 60. I can't remember why, but I do remember we need to clear out the variables because sometimes something can get hung up, and it also helps kind of define them. So we have the string here for your name, series of floats, integer, integer, integer. I made a quick greeting because I put that in my APD and I never made it happen. Prompt user for a number of inputs. Right away I have name, hours worked, desired sleep hours, credits taken, and hours for credits. So starts out, what's your name, hours worked is a float input, desired number of hours for sleep is a float input, credits taken is an integer input, and hours per credit. I'm trying to keep this under the column size. I think my longest is 79 there. Yeah. So I have a quick break in the code to do the float input for how many hours do you at least try to spend on class material per credit. And then I have a quick calculation section where I do total study hours. So credits taken times hours per credit, total free hours or hours per week, minus hours worked, plus total study hours, plus sleep hours, plus number of days per week. And from there, the daily free hours, so total free hours over the number of days per week. And for here, I did a quick hour and minute conversion. Tried to get it as fast as I could. I put in integers, time units I referred to, the 2 forward slashes, and the percent. I can't remember the exact name for them, but I was able to get that to correctly output my time in hours and minutes, as we'll see down there. Determine response based on daily free hours. If daily free hours are greater than or equal to 6, I have a quick, should probably find a bit more time to study response. For the intermediary part, for daily free hours greater than 0, obviously, but not up to 6, or rather up to 6, responses should cut back on work or some sleep. And then for all else, response must also be a C-STEM major, good luck. For my outputs, I prefer to use the empty print for a line break. I think I used one above as well. But trying to use the /n seems to sometimes break different types of print, I've noticed. And since printf lets me kind of have a little more control over the modification, I decided to stick with these guys. Less issues. But I have hey, the name inputted from before. Um, the total free hours just to one decimal point, because no one really cares if you have, 12.375 free hours per week. Um, for a secondary response, or for the second line, I guess that's technically third line of response. I have hours free for hours and minutes free for minutes per day, based on your free time, and then that goes back to these responses, and then a final goodbye, and I can run the code really quick, to prove that it's working, as long as it doesn't break it when I shrink it and expand it. There we go. So for name, we got butts. How many hours do you work per week? I'm just going to use the one for my sample run, so I put 40. Hours of sleep do you want per day? 8. How many credits are you taking? I'm actually taking 12. It's a low ball minimum. So hey butts, you have about 36.0 free hours per week, or about 5 hours and 8 minutes per day. Based on your free time, you should cut back on work or some sleep. Ciao. And I considered adding seconds, but I don't think that's really too relevant. I'm not going to plan my day based on having 10 extra seconds each day of the week. Other than that, there's the code, and I think that does it. Thank you.